Home inspection reports are the kiss of death for far too many buyers, but not for the reason you think. Let me explain. Look, in Texas, right, we have an option period. I don't know how it is in other states, but in Texas, buyers pay for an option period. And if you all bought a house in Texas, you know what I'm talking about. And sometimes it's 5 days, sometimes it's 7 days, but that's that unequivocal right to just back out for any reason. So, of course, during that option period, which you pay for, that's when you want to get your inspection. All pretty normal stuff, right? But here's the thing. Buyers get very confused very often with inspections because the inspector, licensed inspector, right? He gives you this report, however many pages it is, 40, 50, 60 pages, and he's going to tell you everything you can imagine. And if you're a buyer, especially a first-time buyer or someone who's bought a home in a while, but it'll freak you out. Like you'll think this house is about to just implode. And that's really disconcerting. Now, why is he doing that? Look, he's covering his ass, okay? Being honest, right? That's his CYA because he has liability. So if he tells you something's not wrong and it's wrong, they're worried someone sued somebody at some point in time. That's what happened. So that's what inspectors have to do. They put it all in the report and they say things like, consult a licensed electrician regarding X. Consult a licensed plumber. And that's what they do. CYA, people. CYA. And of course, if you're a first-time home buyer or a younger couple buying their first home, man, that can freak you out. Like, I mean, I can remember when I was first a realtor and I already bought several homes, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. That's why, that's not the only reason, but that's one of the main reasons I try and go to every single inspection with my clients, every client I have. Most agents don't do that, and I don't understand why, because to me, my service is full service. So even though I have several great inspectors, I especially have one that I really love, and when he's doing the inspection, he's basically me doing the inspection. I don't need to be there, but I do want to be there because I want to make sure I can interpret stuff for my clients. I can help them understand, walk through that. Because look, the reality is there are three very important things when you look at a home inspection. And those three important things are safety, structural, and mechanical. Safety. If the house is going to fall apart, fall down, right? If something's seriously unsafe, if there's exposed wires or something that, clearly is a safety issue, that needs to be addressed. Hey, real quick before we continue, if you like this content and you want to receive more content like this, do me a favor. Click the subscribe button. I do regular videos on everything from real estate to life in Round Rock, Texas, Central Texas, and all around the area. So I would love it. I know you don't have to, but I would love it if you would just click that subscribe button, maybe ring that bell so you get updates when I get my new videos, and share these videos with someone that you know who needs this information. So, all right, anyway, let's get back to the show. All right, so we talked safety is one, right? Structural. And structural is a big one, especially in Texas, right? Foundation issues. Has foundation been repaired? Does it need to be repaired? Is there a potential issue with this? And number 3 is mechanical. Hey, if you're a hot water heater and that inspection report says the hot water heater is 27 years old, yeah, that's a problem, right? So those are the big 3 that I always tell all my clients. And I try to explain to my clients before we go through this process. Those are the big 3. What's not as big a deal? It's the cosmetic stuff, right? I mean, is it a big deal? Yes, obviously. But if a house is older, it's going to have some stuff, right? There's going to be some paint issues. There might be some sheetrock issues. There might be some carpet issues. There are things that are more cosmetic and less critical. Not that they're not important, but you have to have perspective when you do these reports, right? One time I had a client and they were buying a 20-plus-year-old house. I can't remember the exact year, but it was between 20 and 25 years old. And they were freaking out because the windows, which were original windows, so 20 to 25-year-old windows, had like 3 or 4 broken seals in the windows, which causes a little fogging if you've ever seen it. And they felt like all the windows in the house should be replaced. And that total was like $30-something thousand to do the windows, but they felt like that was the seller's responsibility. Now, I'm incredibly transparent, so I told them not likely. If the house was 4 years old, we'd have a different conversation, but the house being 20, almost 25 years old, that stuff's going to happen. So they insisted I asked for $35,000 to go towards windows. The seller said exactly what my seller probably would have said. Yeah, that ain't happening. So we did get $5,000 towards the windows, right? They weren't thrilled about it, but I had to be very honest with them. That's really good. That's going to help you with what you need to do. So understanding the priorities of what's important and what's not important is critical when it comes to the home inspection report. The other thing is it's not a punch list. And I've had people get confused with that too. Your home inspection report is not a punch list. You don't send it to the seller and go, hey, get all this stuff done. Now, if it's a new home, yeah, that typically is what you do. If it's a new home, and home builders don't have to do everything on the list, but if you send them the actual home inspection report and say, hey, here's home inspection report, more often than not, they're going to bust out all this stuff and get it all done. There might be a few things. I've had a few where like, yeah, that's actually not an issue. And they explain why. And it's, very understandable. But that's the one time where a punch list makes sense. Being a good agent means I prepare my clients for what is coming with a home inspection report during the option period. So they're not surprised. So we can prioritize what's important and what's not important. Remember, important, safety issues, structural issues, mechanical issues. Not as important. Cosmetic issues, paint, carpet, little wall dings, stuff like that, not as important. So having that balance and that's why I go with them, so we can have that conversation. At the end of the day, I work for my clients, so my job is to advise them how to best understand that report and what we do to make the best decisions with that report. I mean, the reality is being a good agent means I prepare my clients before we ever get to that point. So when we have the conversation, it's actually pretty easy. It would be horrible to say nothing, have first-time buyer, get that report, show it to them, maybe not even be at the inspection, and have them freak out and then have to walk them back down. So much better to be transparent and upfront and help them to understand before it gets to that point. Look, my job's simple. I give you the truth so you can make the best decision for you and your family when it comes to buying a home. I'm Jeff Miller with Greater Than Austin Real Estate. Do me a favor, feel free to reach out to me if you have questions about the home inspection process or about buying or selling a home anywhere in Central Texas. Go ahead and contact me. My contact information is down below. And until next time, you all take care.